Hello, and welcome to this episode of Next Sell Over. I'm your host, Jenna Moser, fractional COO and strategic growth partner. And this is the podcast where we get out of the weeds and talk about what it actually takes to grow a lean, high profit business. And today I am thrilled to introduce someone who truly brings numbers to life. Marissa Furstenberg, CPA. With nearly 20 years of experience in the accounting world, Marissa has worked with top firms in both Florida and Colorado, mastering the art of bookkeeping, tax, and advisory along the way. She's a proud Florida State University graduate and earned her master's at Nova Southeastern University, and then topped it all off by becoming a licensed CPA the very next year. But Marissa isn't just about balance sheets and spreadsheets. She's also deeply rooted in her community. She's a vibrant part of the Hebrew Educational Alliance and has been lending her voice to the Shur Hadash davening team for over a decade, guys. When she's not supporting businesses financially, she's supporting them personally as an ambassador for the South Metro Denver Chamber of Commerce, helping local entrepreneurs connect and thrive. So, get ready for insights, energy, and a passion for helping people grow. Please join me in welcoming Marissa Furstenberg. Thank you so much for being here.
Yay! Thanks for having me.
Yay! I'm so excited.
Me too.
Um, so let's just start with the basics. So, what do you do, and how did you get here?
Yeah. So, as a kid, I loved journal entries. We had a class in, I think, middle school where we had to journal out something like all these different scenarios. And I actually enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, I can keep going with this. And through high school, college, I just kept going and doing well in it. And until my master's in my CPA course is when I really understood it, which is sad, but I got through. And then it all clicked. Everyone's like, the light bulb will go off. And it just, I was just like, okay, it never did until then. And then I was like, oh my God, I get it. It's all
Yay!
going. It happened. But yeah, I wasn't your typical, I'm not your typical CPA, and I've always enjoyed numbers and finances and just accounting in general. And yeah, I love the whole process in accounting and really helping business owners learn about their business and grow and actually understand their books and not just be told this is what you have. It's like, great.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like as a CPA, you get the stereotype of you're just this boring robot who, sits in a corner and just looks at numbers. But it's like, no, we can be fun. Like we can be cool.
For
So,
sure. It's a lot of they think A, taxes immediately. They're like, "Can
Mhm.
you do my taxes?" And for a very long time I was not doing them. So I was like, "No, thank you." But now we are. So that's a huge plus. But it's just like we have protractors back when I was a child or like growing up, that's what we imagined. And I was like, there's nothing here. We do not. Or have a calculator at all times, which now we all do with our phones, which is fantastic.
Yes, for sure. So your the name of your bookkeeping agency is Rissa Accounting. So what kind of services, you kind of alluded a little bit about, but what kind of services or value do you provide to your clients? Like what makes you different than all the other accounting agencies out there?
Yeah. So we are Rissas because I'm Marissa and my partner's name is Carissa and we are the Rissas. And we met at a job and it was a terrible job. So we were happy to find each other and some clients actually. And that's how we started our company, was by kind of figuring out, like, we liked the concept. We worked in e-commerce accounting and that's all we did through 2020. So we did really well with it. But then it was just not a great situation. I talked to my friends and family and clients and was kind of like, I'm gonna branch out and do my own thing. And it's been fantastic because we focus in on bookkeeping, advisory and taxes now. That's just been added. And we really focus in on e-commerce is one of our bread and butters. That's what we kind of connected on and really enjoyed. And we have also manufacturing, like audio visual, kind of, we say anybody with a bank account. We have non for profit, anybody that has a bank account and a credit card that needs help. We would love to help them out.
Okay, you do it all.
We really do.
That's
Really do.
awesome. So what is one of, like, the biggest win that you guys have had recently that has helped your business move the needle? Being, most businesses fail in the first couple years, but you guys are still going strong. So what would you say is your biggest win?
Yeah, this is our 4th year, I believe. I just really believe in taking care of the client and focusing on their needs and making sure checking in. Communication is really key in any relationship, and like that is what is needed because you don't know what you don't know, and if you're not asked the right questions or you don't have a trusted advisor who don't have, you need somebody to go to and ask it. I think joining South Metro and becoming a chamber, an ambassador, and really focusing on networking has grown our business exponentially. We've had the same client for 4 years and have focused on them, and it's been amazing. And now it's time to add more clients. And so, actually, the last month we had 3 clients sign.
Wow.
So it was one of our biggest months ever,
Yeah.
besides the beginning of our journey. We haven't had that many clients in 1 month join. So I think it was really representing who we are and also just saying I was going to do taxes. And they
Yeah.
were like, I'm in. I was like, wow.
No, congratulations is
Thank
awesome.
you.
And I know, like, several people, like, when they're looking for a bookkeeper or I guess when they first start a business, they're like, okay, we need to find a CPA. And it's great when you can find like a two-in-one, like, someone to do your bookkeeping and to do your taxes versus like having to find both, because that can just feel like overwhelming and also like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know where to start looking. Like, so if you can do both, like, like that's awesome. And something that is truly valuable and like people look for. So now let's flip it. And what would you say is a mistake that you have made that ended up teaching you something just super valuable?
Yeah. I mean, um, I think, uh, I don't know if it was my mistake. I'm going to say it like that, but blindly trusting somebody and not doing my own research. Uh, I got into a situation where we were set up by a boss for sales tax, and he signed everybody up for all the cities and municipalities in Colorado. And in Colorado, we are a home rule state where each municipality is its own, it could be its own state. There's 107 of its own state. So, usual place, like every other state in United States, you just send your money to Colorado or the state, and then they trickle down the money to the district, the city, the anybody.
Sure.
Unfortunately, Colorado, we have our own 107 or 122, depending. It's ever growing, honestly. And you have to register, collect, and remit in that, like in that municipality, that city, that district. And we didn't know we were signed up. And so we were collecting and not remitting. And so that would be one of the biggest mistakes I think I've ever seen in my career, of just thinking somebody was an expert and knew what they were doing and finding out afterwards that they were not.
Yeah, no, yeah, I can't even imagine.
It was a nightmare.
Wow. So did you guys catch that, like, how long did it take you to like realize that?
Yep. We got audited. And so that's how I learned.
Gotcha. Oh man.
We've
Uh,
gone through a few audits, and just, I really wanna get the word out there because there's not a lot of education or communication around the home rule, and it's a life-changing, and people can have physical nexus. Not only we figured it out because we were signed up for it, which it was very easy. It was like a click of a button. Like, you think you're in this state, you need to take all that cities because that's a usual thing, is you sign up for the whole thing. And in Colorado, and I believe Louisiana, I have to check, but they are the states that are home rule, and you can't just check everything because you have to register.
yeah. Well, everyone, if you're listening, like, make sure you don't do that.
Don't be like that.
So do you guys just serve like local Denver, or do you serve any business anywhere in the States?
Sure. For bookkeeping, we have clients all over. But for taxes as of right now will be Colorado. Just until I mean, we have, as you know, as a CPA, we have reciprocity. You know, that word. We can work anywhere. We just have to, let the state know and set it up. But as of right now, we only are doing CPA in our taxes in Colorado.
Gotcha, gotcha. So what would you say are the most important KPIs or metrics that you track specifically for your business or that you have your clients track consistently so that they, understand where their business is and, where it's going? What would you say are the most important?
Gross margin is a really big one because that's your top line before your operating expenses. So are you making money on the product you're selling before you even hit wages and people and anything? I would say cash flow is one of the biggest ones that we kind of follow because cash is king and we have to figure out, are we going to have enough money to
Yeah.
afford everything? Those are kind of the biggest ones, I would say. What about you? What do you look at for KPI?
Yeah, so definitely the ones you mentioned, but I also like look at areas outside of the financials. What are important to like in your sales and operation sides? If you are a service-based business and you are appointment-based, are you looking at, your booked call versus no-show rates? Are you looking at, every step of the funnel of like, are leads coming in? Are they opting in? Are they, booking a call? Where at in the like customer journey are you or I guess yeah, how do I say that? Where in the customer journey can you, optimize that conversion? Because then everything else after that, is going to be affected. So trying to figure out what point of your sales funnel needs to be tweaked so that you can obviously optimize the amount of sales. And then also in your like marketing space. So like, are you running ads? Which can be very tricky and very expensive fast. So like just monitoring those very closely to making sure like is it working or is it not and tweaking, as you go so you're not spending hundreds, thousands of dollars when something is
Are
clear.
you hitting the targeted, like, customers that you're really wanting, really at the end of
Yes,
the day? That's the
for
biggest
sure.
thing for that, for sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then also, like, are you running any email marketing campaigns or social media campaigns? Like, just figuring out, like, where are your leads coming from and just optimizing that area too, so that when they do start booking calls, you can figure out where to spend most of your time and energy. So I like to look at different areas of the business, not just the financial, but the ones that you mentioned in the financial space, like cash and gross margin, yes, are definitely important as well. So how would you say like tracking these metrics or like knowing your numbers, how does that kind of shape the way that you make business decisions or help your clients make business decisions?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I've talked to my clients a lot about lately was variable versus fixed.
Mm.
Trying to figure out how much money do we must make to survive that month and make sure we can pay all our bills. So just knowing what the bills are and how much they are and focusing on that and saying, okay, once you have your number, then we can add the variables of like, if this happens, then this is due or something like that. But rent is going to hit every month. So we need to make sure we can pay for rent.
Rent and payroll, like those are very
Payroll.
important.
People are very expensive and they
Yeah.
expect to be paid. So we need to pay them.
Yeah, for sure. So Marissa, what kind of technology or tools are you currently using to handle your bookkeeping in your business?
So Xero, Xero, is a accounting software that we prefer. It is a user-friendly and very intuitive, but really easy to use for the user. QuickBooks has, their rates have been, going crazy. Xero is the best one, best option. It has affordability, and QuickBooks has raised their rates and offer things that they shouldn't. They have payroll and they're not a payroll provider. So they make you do your own, city taxes and things like that. We go with Gusto or ADP in those matters. You should never use the same, especially if they're not a payroll provider. That's why people go with a payroll provider and not just use their accounting software to do things. I think it's a very dangerous situation because taxes aren't always done correctly, and that is a very scary thing. And I always take someone completely off of QuickBooks and save them instantly in money. For sales tax right now, the best on the market is Avalara, and but you have to keep up with it and be involved and check the work because it's a tech company. So they have expertise on site and with them, but it's always best to check their work. So those
That's so
are the best
interesting.
ones. Yeah.
It's because that I haven't heard that before. Like, most of the time you just hear, like, QuickBooks, like, that is the go-to, but I'm loving your opinion right now on Xero. So, tell me more. So, you mentioned, like, they're doing things they're not supposed to, or, like, that they shouldn't be doing, like, they're not staying, in their zone of genius, or they're like, increasing the rate. So, what about Xero? What are they, I guess, what are their, shoot. What are their, like, pros? Like, why would someone choose, Xero over QuickBooks other than, lower fees?
So it's the seamless transition into it. Again, user friendly. So you can do budgets on there. They have bank feeds that go right into your bank account, which it's just a cleaner. It has the AI that helps say, "Hey, you've done this transaction a couple times. Is this what you want?" The reports are really good. You can do percentages off of the reports. It's very customizable, which I really like. Their interface is really nice where their dashboard, you can put different, like if you want your accounts or if there's accounts on your chart of accounts that you want to watch, you put that on there. It's a cleaner, easier interface
Okay.
for people that don't know accounting. It's out of New Zealand and they are blowing up. They have an office in Denver. They go around the world with their road shows and things like that, but they really listen to the accountants and make their lives a little easier and saying like, "Hey, we really want percent of sales. Like I really want a customizable income statement that I can give to my clients because I'm doing it outside in Excel." They created that. They just really work with the accountants and the users to give you the best experience, and not a lot of people are doing that. And with
Interesting.
QuickBooks desktop going away and all, and I know people have their CDs, but you're going to have no support and it's going to be real difficult to get things in and out of there. So it's a good transition to an online platform.
Okay. Are they structured similar to QuickBooks? Like, do they have, like, tier packaging, but then also, like, the different roles, like an accountant role, and, like, that sort of thing? So, like, I guess as a bookkeeping agency, like, do you guys use Xero for, like, your business?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. And they have great deals for, if you get a console, they help out with yours and they take care of their people and, there are tiers. So it depends on how many transactions and how much you need it. You can send invoices out of there. You can create it. Everything's customizable. So your invoice that you want to look a certain way or be a certain color because that's your brand, you can put your logo and your brand color and everything on there. And it's really, I think that's the biggest thing. It's customizable and it doesn't look, it just, it's fresh and clean and it's not, there's a great support and help. You can make cases and they do CPEs all the time, to help you grow as an accountant. So there's just so much. They are so supportive of the small businesses or any business.
Very
And
cool.
I find it a just a better software.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna look it up after, or, like, look more into it after this because Yeah, it's like QuickBooks, like, the fees are insane. I'm like, not only do I get a fee for, like, using, Stripe or PayPal or whatever the, payment processor is, but then, like, QuickBooks charges you a fee too, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh," like, I wanna keep my my money, you
Yeah.
know?
I wanna
Uh,
I wanna also tell you about Bill.com. Have you ever heard of Bill.com?
I have yeah, Bill and, Gusto are the 2 that, I've heard of the most, yeah.
So Bill.com is a huge, incredible platform as well for sending out invoices, just an all-encompassing platform where you can get a credit card from it for your company and have budgets for each card or each situation. So if you have a bunch of different jobs, you can make a budget for that job and it and add the card that you want. So it's an affordable, easy transition, and then you also can send bills through that. I love Bill.com. That's one of my other platforms that I think it's an affordable, they take care of their accountants. If you get a console, it's affordable for your clients. It's worth it for your clients and for you, once you added a console on. It's game changer, honestly, for our business because I can offer that, and you can, again, make it very customizable with your logos and things like that, and your when you send a bill, they sign up for free, and you can do an ACH. So that's how I skip out on those Stripe fees and all of that by working with Bill.com, and then it's 49 cents for an ACH. It's not it's so different. A game changer, honestly, on business because I don't want to pay you to pay me. Like, that's ridiculous. Like,
Yeah,
no, thank you. So this is a safe, secure
for
way
sure.
to get paid and affordable, and still keep your gross margin.
Yes, no, for sure. Marissa dropping some golden nuggets here. Like, I wanna save my money. What are some other tools that you've ditched or on the opposite, like, that you absolutely love, and think are like, you must have when you have a business?
Those are it. I don't know. I mean, Zoom is great, we use Zoom all the time, but besides that, I mean, those are my big 3, honestly, is Xero, Bill.com, and Avalara. Those are and then Salesforce is, I don't love Salesforce. I would love to find a better situation because they continue to change the behind the scenes. It's not as fun because once you've spent thousands and thousands of dollars to create this CRM, and then they say, "We're not supporting it anymore. Go spend thousands and thousands of dollars again." Thanks.
Yeah.
It's
Ugh.
just not as fun. It just I think that sometimes people don't think about the end user, and I think that's an issue, and it's unfortunate because the small businesses are the ones getting pummeled and screwed at the end of the day, and we're all just trying to survive and thrive, but we're just ending in the survival mode. But yeah, if you know of any
No.
other CRMs.
Tech stacks, like, oh my like, that can really kill you because, like, the little one so if you're a small business, like, you can't afford these big, like, all-in-one like, Salesforce, HubSpot, Go High Level is a little cheaper or High Level is a little cheaper, but, like, these all-in-ones, like, they just don't like, make sense for a small business owner. Like, yes, they're great, you don't have to, have multiple softwares, but, like, they are so expensive.
Not affordable.
Yeah, so when you're just starting out, it's like, "Oh my gosh, you have, like, 10 different softwares that you're trying to, like, learn and manage and keep track of all your data," and it's just, like, insane. So,
That's why
yes, I wish they
I
made
don't oh, sorry. Yeah,
No, you're fine.
that's why I like Xero because you can put all your contacts in there. You can put information. I know it's accounting software, I mean, and that's what I focus on, but I find the most value there because you can send invoices and do things through Xero or Bill.com. That's why I try to focus there. But yeah, we need more affordable options for small business owners and for people that aren't at 10,000s of clients and things like that. You got to get a starting point or at least have affordable ways to do it. Because honestly, with these CRMs, you have to hire somebody to help you with it, and it's like, what? Like, what is happening here? It doesn't even come with like a person, you know what I mean? Like come with an advisor or something that like will
Right.
help you set it up. They're like, "Nope, you're on your own. Good luck."
But hey, if you need that, I'm your girl, like,
Yeah. But if it
um,
breaks, we may be the reason why.
that's so funny. But, like, so does Xero, integrate with a lot of softwares like QuickBooks? I think that's maybe why I initially just, like, went with QuickBooks because like, it integrates with so much, but, like, do you find that Xero is increasing their integrations and becoming more
100%.
popular? Okay.
And they come with HubDoc, which is one of the most incredible things that I think has ever come out, where it OCRs it, where that means it goes through the document and just finds like the date, the amount, who it's to, all the things, all the information. And so then you're just a reviewer and you're not completely a data entry person. So it kind of gives you a leg up on the data entry situation. And that comes with Zero now. But yes, Xero has a huge plethora of different apps that it connects with. I mean, anytime we look at anything, it's like, does it connect with Xero? Then we are down to try it. But I mean, they're step by step with QuickBooks. And QuickBooks has been around forever with Quicken and all of them. But
Yeah.
it's kind of the old age. I mean, even the online, it's not as great. You can't make changes. So when a CPA gives you changes and things like that, and oh, you shouldn't have taken that much, you had to take this much. It's not easy to delete a transaction from QuickBooks. It's not an easy process. It's a roundabout way that you have to figure out a way to do it. Whereas Zero, there's you unlock the books, and you make changes, and it's so customizable and easy to use as an accountant. I way prefer it over QuickBooks for sure.
Well, I know what I'm doing later after I get
Let me
off
know if
here.
you have any questions.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I love your tech advice. So
Thank
you
you.
guys, you heard it here first. Xero is the next thing. It's gonna
It
take
is.
over QuickBooks. Well, thanks, Marissa. I love any other tech tips that you want to share with us? So, what would you say, or what advice would you give someone who is just starting to scale their business, or honestly, like just start taking it seriously? What would you say to them?
Get a bookkeeper. Get a bookkeeper that can help you. I've gotten a client recently that thought for 9 years or however he's been in business that he's been doing a great job. Um, and he's been keeping invoices in QuickBooks and expenses in Excel. And it sounds like a nightmare because it is a nightmare. Nothing's been reconciled and it's scary because you just don't know how accurate your financials are. And also once you get a bookkeeper, be involved with the bookkeeper. Don't just set it and forget it and just be like, "Oh, that sounds like a you thing." Be
Yeah,
involved in your business, you know what I mean? And care. Because you started a business because you're really good at your zone of genius and what you're good at, and you just want to make sure you're learning and you're growing and you're not going to be taken advantage of, because I have heard horror stories being in this space which I've never heard before, and he wasn't aware that people will take advantage of you once you walk away and ignore them. And I don't know honestly how these bookkeepers are stealing money, but apparently that happens, and that's not okay. And
yeah,
so I mean, as a CPA, we are trusted advisors, and we have a higher ethics that it's not really it's not a thing that we do, or I
yeah,
have integrity. I don't know. Most CPAs do, as I've met them. They're not the ones stealing and not being a good human. You stay involved in your business and get a bookkeeper and seek advice and get a trusted advisor that can help you with all
yeah.
aspects of your
I
business.
would say that's super important because there are so many bookkeeping agencies out there, and you can find them super cheap. But it's like you also kind of get what you pay for, right? Like if you like the ones that are offering the super cheap services, like they are not like personally invested in your business. They are just, checking the numbers off and moving. Like they're not actually like taking care of you. And if you let them, because like you're not invested either. Like when you don't have to like invest in something, like you're not putting your trust and your life on the line essentially, because like you don't it's just another bill. But like when you have to significantly pay for something, like you're going to pay attention to it. And the bookkeepers that charge the higher prices, like they are truly invested in your business. They want you to succeed, they care about you, and like they want you to be involved, because at the end of the day, like it is your business. And they can only tell you so much. Like it's up to you to then make the additional decisions. And so I would just be very careful when you're out there looking for a bookkeeper, because you're right, they're not all super trustworthy. And you could get burned really bad, and then pay someone like Marissa along the lines of like cleaning up all the mess that they made when you thought your books were fine, but in reality, like nothing's been reconciled in 3 years, or you have a huge write-off now because like they weren't taking something into account that they should have. And so you wouldn't know those things if just basically gave them your books and said, okay, see ya, like just give me my P&L every month. Like, no. So just be careful, because it could end up costing you so much more later down the road. So definitely good advice, Marissa. Lastly, like if you could go back and give your past self one piece of clarity, what would that be?
I think it's everything's gonna be okay, and to learn more in the tax side when I was doing it and be more involved, knowing that I had that kind of cushion of having a partner above me that, I feel blessed because I don't feel like there were any changes. I always felt like that when I went through. I was like, "Do you have any changes for this, my 1040?" And they were always like, "No." And I was like, "Cool. I'm doing it right. This is great,"
Yeah.
kind of thing. But just knowing that everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, I think that it's hard when you're younger, especially as a CPA, when you're doing 80 hours a week at a public firm. I got burnt out very like at 30, which I think is pretty young. And just knowing that there's so many other options in accounting, which is so cool. Like you can be an auditor like what your path was, or you can there's so many things that you can do in the accounting world. And that's kind of how I approached it going into college. I was like, if I make it in accounting, great, but I always have other things underneath that I can always do, finance
Right.
or whatever. And so just knowing that I've gotten to create this bookkeeping and this firm has been really a lot for me. And it's really satisfying because I get to go deep with clients. And I think that's something super fun and cool.
Yeah, and I think that is one thing like technology has really opened for our space, is just the ability to do so much more than just being an accountant or a traditional bookkeeper. There's so much more we can do online now, which I think is pretty cool too. So before we wrap up, where can people find you, connect with you, learn more about the work that you guys are doing? Because it truly sounds super valuable and amazing. And everyone, you need to look up the Rissas because they are awesome.
I appreciate you. Yeah, we really approach all our clients as a partnership. That's how we kind of connect, and we say, "This is as much as my business as it is yours." And you were correct. Like we care about our business and our partners and so much, and we want to learn about your business and help you grow. And strategize is one of our favorite things to do. So you can find us at Rissa's RISSAS LLC .com, and email us at info@rissasllc.com. So, and we're on LinkedIn, and yeah, we're really excited. Thank you so much for having us. We really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thank you. That was such an amazing conversation with Marissa. I appreciate you taking the time to share your story and insights with us. So, if you got value from today's episode, follow Next Sell Over wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you know a bookkeeper, CFO, or founder who's scaling a lean team and would enjoy this conversation, send it their way. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.